we didn't set out to make a documentary. These are helmet cameras that we just took just to take.
It is those guys and what they saw and what they're narrating. And what we did is to piece it together and co-tell a story with them about what they did and how they understand what they were doing. These guys have described our films as digital medicine, which is unique, it is unprecedented. They've said to their families, I have never been able to tell you, war isn't about dialogue, I haven't been able to tell you what I've experienced through my words, but if you watch these films, The Hornet's Nest and Now Citizen Soldier, you will get as close as you can get to experiencing what it is that I went through. And there's been a healing component to that.
Some guys have opened up more about their experience with the deployment to their family. And some guys like myself, I really haven't discussed it a lot with my wife because I've chosen to try and deal with it on my own. That way they don't have to be involved as much. But with the film coming out like it has, it's opened up, you know, my wife's thinking as far as wanting to know more about what I went through, what my brothers went through.
I wanted to affect the family of the soldiers to have an understanding that when their loved one deploys, male, female, regardless, they're going to come back different, and they're going to come back different for a reason. And a lot of times you may not understand it, but this will help shed some light on why that may be.
You know, it's been a good thing. This film has been huge in my recovery, and I like to think that it's been huge in others. The healing for us is huge, but we didn't do it because we want to boast. We didn't do it because we want to, you know, make ourselves look like we're more important than we are. We were tasked with a mission. We went out and did that mission, and if we can help somebody heal, you know, from their deployment, even if they weren't on the same deployment as us, but if we can help them heal, then our mission is finished.
I want the soldiers who have been deployed and who have experienced this to be able to look at it and say, you know what, somebody's telling a story that I can relate to. So even though this may not be me in the film, or it may not be, you know, me doing this or my exact story, it's something that I can have a loved one who's wanted to know the very same questions that their family probably asked and say, hey, watch this. This accurately describes what I went through. And whatever you see these guys, that was my story, maybe in a different way, maybe in a different theater, but it's the same thing. It transcends generations, that brotherhood.
War's not new. It doesn't change, really. The players in the game change, but the thing itself is pretty static. So I could be looking at someone else's experience in a different place and time and relate to them. And I'm hoping that in this film, those other soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines from whatever generation, from whatever conflict, can see this and recognize themselves or their brothers or their sisters in the characters, the men and the women that they see in this movie, and relate and see that, if nothing else, their experience does not isolate them. It doesn't make them singular. In fact, they are part of a much larger collective. And that's a big part of healing, is to realize that you're not alone. And myself and my friends, people I know, have been through those times where you feel completely isolated and alone. And that's when the darkness comes. And where the light gets shined on it is when you are reminded, it's not just me. It's okay that whatever happened. It's okay that I came back. It's okay that it's not the same. That's okay. So if they can see our story and relate their own story, and if that can heal one military person, man or woman, then it's all worth it. And I think my brothers and my sisters are all of the same mind, more than willing to share our story in an effort to hopefully bring healing to just one. Just one, that's worth it.